Good morning, y'all. How we doing, chat? Let's get it. Previously on Kimba TV. You know, obviously that 82-4 point of control is something to keep in mind. Obviously, we got to keep that in mind. Okay, we're all looking at the same shit. Okay, we're not gonna let that guy go away. Okay, understand that that's a thang. That's a thang. Okay, that's a thang. Like, I might get that 70 breaking, because look, we got the 76 swing fail, right? So, like, you know, I'm going to be paying attention. Yeah, for those of you guys saying 74, 100%. I'm going to be looking at 74, 72. But that's going to be quick. So, like, I'm going to be looking at basically that zone now. It's level to level. I like it. All right. Ding, 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 ding. U.S. markets are open, boy. U.S. markets. Let me switch to RTH. Yeah. All right. RTH for ES. RTH for Biddy. There we go. Exo is still fucked up. Did that already get cleaned? All right, cool. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Verti, what's going on? Ray, what's going on? Hazy, what's going on? Cowboy Crypto, Verti, Ali, Luxinka, Mex Powers, Antonia, Damon, Sunny Hills. Berbizi says, is it me or Monday and Tuesday went by fast as fuck? Probably because it was just so crabby. Did you get caught up on all the stuff that we talked about yesterday? Somebody asked me to do like 15-second alpha TA before we ended the stream. And one of the things that we said last was 90% of this plan will change tomorrow. So, yeah, I don't know if the high is in yet. It would have been better if it cleaned it during RTH. So maybe there's like one more move up. But that might have been it right there. So it might already be cleaned, you know? Yeah, so like, and I don't know if this is done. So I don't know if there's one more or if that was it. Something like that. Were you here in the morning when I was talking about like this will probably get cleaned, and I don't know if this already cleaned it? So if you wanted to get into a short, it was like around here. Todot says, why would it be bullish? Obviously, I explained it yesterday to Sophia for about 30 minutes. So listening to that explanation would be better than my 3-second explanation today. But it would be because of structure change, Todots. Yeah, it would be because of structure change. That basically would be in. You would be doing this. You would be making higher highs and higher lows. So what you want is continue to make this narrative. That's why this is the place where you would allow the sweep, because you want the fake out in the morning. Does that make sense, Todots? That's why this would be the short if you wanted to take it this morning, if you missed everything yesterday. Because this would be the fake out of the structure change. And then what you want to do now is what? Make a lower low. You would not want a higher low. Then we would be like, oh, fuck, what? What's going on? You with me? So let's keep the structure the same. Lower highs, lower lows, and let's keep going. But on the 30-minute, if it starts to change, then we would have to be like, uh-oh. Todot says, I'm in short from the top. Awesome, awesome. I just didn't think of structure change. Got you. Yeah, very, very important. Ace, what's going on? Esky Dude says, I guess it's already nerding out time. Let me know if you have any questions, man. Talk to me, Esky. What are we doing? What do you guys want to talk about today? This is really, really nice. I like this. I'm fucking with this. I like this. Off of S&P. Obviously, we haven't even had the first 30-minute candle close of U.S. market open, so we're not going to get too carried away on anything, but so far, so good. Jingao says, it is easy to understand the science in identifying levels for both long and short, but how do you evaluate your bias for bearish and bullish scenarios? That's a great question. I feel like that's a challenge that everybody has to deal with. One of the things that I've been talking about for quite some time, Jingao, is having a threshold where you can say above here is bullish, below here is bearish. A lot of times for me, it'll be settlement or VWAP. So you've actually seen me flip-flop quite a few times the last couple weeks, if you've been watching, where I might say, hey, look, I'm looking for a short, but I understand that, look, if we start to do a bullish retest on settlement, then I'm going to have to flip long. So we've actually been doing that the last couple weeks where even though we have our own sort of bias, we have a level or some sort of threshold, Jingao, where we say, well, even though I'm looking for a short, if it goes back above this level and if we have a 30-minute candle close above settlement, I'm going to have to long settlement, and the stop loss is going to be a lower low on the wick below. So it's always going to be a challenge, Jingao, but we've actually been trying to do a better job of being ready to flip-flop if we have to, especially on the sort of daily scalps that we've been trying. So I have seen VWAP really ruining the shorts with holding. I mean, for higher time frame setups, it would still be same thing, Jingao. Like, think about how we were able to get this yesterday. It was the untapped session-based higher time frame VWAP, right? That entry was still VWAP. Remember? So, were you here on Monday, Jingao? You love the identification of that? For sure. Yeah. So, in fact, I think the higher time frame stuff is easier for me. What I wanted to do on Monday was I wanted to get into like a scalp long, get in here and then take the short and then go, right? I got a little bit thrown off on the smaller time frame scalp idea because I thought, okay, well, fuck, there's your SFP right there. We're not going to even go there. So I took the short, and then I thought that was the short. And so I said, no, I don't want to long anymore. So I didn't long, right? And then it came and eventually gave us the entry that we wanted. So the smaller time frame stuff actually kind of fucked me a little bit. I should have just stuck to the original plan, you know, instead of getting too carried away with that. I still could have longed this value area low on Monday, still could have gotten that, and then, you know, taken the short. So the higher time frame, medium time frame, I was a little bit more bearish, right, going into Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, even higher time frame, it's still VWAP, I think. And like bad high, bad low, Jingao. So I think it's really just all about your own plans, Jingao. But you can clearly tell that on my time frames, I wanted to take a short and I didn't want a long, right? So even though I missed the scalp long from the value area high value retest on Monday, I didn't get got on the value area high retest yesterday. So it's hard to, you're never going to have the same subconscious bias as me. You're never going to have the same subconscious bias as another person. So you just kind of have to do what you think is right. And just because you missed a trade or you didn't take the same trade that I did, it does not mean that you did anything wrong. So you can clearly see that I was prepared for it. I planned for it. You know, it was really easy for me to take it because of the level and the way that it reacted. You can clearly see that even on Monday, when I took that SFP short, I really wanted to short and I wasn't interested in longing. So I'm just doing what I think is right, and you guys should all do the same too. So I didn't take this long. Some of you guys did and juiced, right? But I didn't want to take the bullish retest. I didn't take the bullish retest yesterday. You can clearly see I was really quick to get into shorts. You can clearly see that I was quick to get into shorts again, especially when I have pixel perfect levels identified for myself. So, yeah, I'm just kind of doing me. And then you guys know what my next level is to the downside. This is, a level of interest. Obviously, could still swing fail. I highly doubt that would happen, but I just think it's lower probability. I think this one is better. And even this one, I think even if it bounced, it would just be like a dead cat anyways. So sounds good, Jingao, but do what you think is right, brother. There's so many different ways that you could be playing this. So I don't want you to feel like you did anything wrong. Yeah, nothing has really changed with Sol. Yeah, I still have the thing running. I would do stop loss and profit like this. So coming back below 116, I'll close the rest. Yeah, I think I still have more than half running. So, yeah, I don't know who asked about Sol, but yeah, if we can't get 138, 139, then I would close the rest below VWAP, anchored VWAP from the bottom. Okay? Yeah, shave. Don't just be fucking sitting here with a $96 long on Sol and you haven't TP'd anything. That would be really bad risk management. So hopefully, I mean, even like self-admittedly, I still have half running. That's probably a little bit degenerate, but at least I shaved. But make sure that you're taking profits on the long. Don't just wait for 139 and get round tripped or something. Focacino says 1,000 PTC short. Like we said, that could just be one person. I could do that by myself, so don't put too much into it. Uncle Scratcha says, thank you, stopped out. No worries. Were you here when we narrated everything? So do you understand why we moved our stop loss into take profit? So now, this is your second trade. Yeah, but that's why, you don't want to be the dickhead to get stopped out right there or stopped out right there. Were you able to follow along? So let's get it. So we don't lose any money on the first one. Stop loss at break even. We literally told you guys when to do it, and then here we go. It's another opportunity again. So now you're going to wait for 30 minutes. Can you tell me what open interest looks like? Can you tell me what structure looks like? Can you tell me what CVD looks like? All right, and last but not least, can you remember what we said that we were going to be looking for during Jerome Powell's speech today? There's 3 things that we talked about last week. One was quantitative easing, one was rate cut, and what he thinks about inflation. Do you remember the words that we're going to be looking for? So, yeah, this is like a brand new short. We might get away with another Pico perfect, pixel perfect top. All right. Do you know how to play divs? So this is the swing fail, correct? Leading up into Jerome Powell. So just like this, right? Do you remember everything that we did and what we waited for this? So this is all just every single price action move is a test to see if you're really truly prepared and if you know what you're doing. So you got to love this shit, man. Yeah, but lots of juice. Do you see why all of us, we were talking about, hey, is it okay to put stop loss at break even now? Were you here for this? The golden pocket getting turned into resistance makes the lower low. All that stuff. So this is exactly why you make sure that you don't lose any money, and then this is your next trade. So either you are smashing right at 85233, your stop loss is that, or you already know that you want to wait for Jerome Powell to start speaking. You guys ready? Ka-choy! Easy money! Let's get it! Here we go! Let's go, let's go, let's go! Uncle Scratcha says, I didn't lose. Good stuff, good stuff. That's the whole point, brother. You never want to lose. And I mean, we were already at like in green, so you never let a green trade turn red. So that's it, Uncle Scratcha. Even if you don't know anything about TA, if you can just do basic common sense risk management, don't get greedy, you know what I'm saying? The game becomes really easy. Yeah, it was dope that it pixel fucked the value area high like that. Holy shit. Incredible. I like, the only way that happens is because everybody else fucking shorted that too, which is kind of good and bad, I guess. I mean, I like it that it's on CME. God damn, that was a quick reaction. That level ate up every bullish appetite there was on the fucking planet. Crazy. Snail Waddle says, I know it's similar, but oh, we already read that. I knock you die says, yo Kimba, what do you think short at 87170 if the price goes up? I think if you really wanted to short today, you would have taken the VWAP. So 87170, what the fuck? That's like 3,000. Sure. Higher. I would think it's going to go to 92 if it goes higher. Latisse is Biddy holding well against S&P. Deja vu, anybody? Chat. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, I can't. Where's Thomas? Where's Thomas? No. For real though. Does that not sound familiar? Oh, I can't believe Bitcoin's holding up really well. Don't you think we should long, Kimba? All I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a game of probabilities. Could it hold up and be bullish from here? Sure. Statistically, that's not the high probability move, though. But I like that you want to go with the lower probability output, the outcome. But like this happens a lot, you know? So if you're somebody that's feeling like, wow, Bitcoin's holding up really well against S&P, just start keeping track of that. Maybe it pumps, but your sample size should not be one, whether you think it's bearish or bullish. You know, it's about seeing this hundreds and thousands of times. You will see this a lot, where Bitcoin isn't pumping that much as S&P, or Bitcoin isn't dumping as much as S&P. This happens a lot. So, you know, just pay attention to what happens. Keep track of it. You know, start to figure out of 100 times what percentage, you know, of the time is it this outcome, and what percentage of the time is it this outcome. So it's all going to just come to, can levels hold? Do you spend time above or below? Do you build value? Let's go. 48 more minutes, and then U.S. markets are closing. So it's power hour anyways, but I'm rooting for you guys. Shout out longers. Shout out shorters. Let's go, Lions. And you got to love it. So many things that you can watch and see for yourself and, kind of put under your belt and have as a data point that you can refer to later on. So it's a little bit like a couple of like a day and a half after the 15th, right? So we're right there. We're right at the 0.5 for the month. NK says no applauses for me today. What happened? What happened? Talk to me, NK. Talk to me, NK. Every day, every price action, it's an opportunity to learn. And so the biggest L that you can take, in my opinion, is to get carried away emotionally and completely miss out on the opportunity to learn and get better, So that's okay. Market smashed and slippage fucked my entry. Got you. But what happened, though? Tell me exactly what happened. Like, what were you trying to do? You were trying to long? You were trying to short? Do you want to talk about it or no? We don't even need to talk about it if you don't want to. But there's for sure some value to be extracted from whatever happened. And I want to make sure you get that shit because that's the juice. So, what had happened? What had happened? Haskir says, for me, I got so much going on in my life, and I think I can't deal with everything, but thanks to Kimba to give easiness to do it. Well, I mean, you always want to lock in, and you don't want to have any distractions when you're trying your best at anything, I feel like, in life, but don't spread yourself out too thin. Gamer girl in the building. NK says, I took the golden pocket short. Okay. So you took the... And are you still in the short or are you out? My stop loss was the high. Oh, you got on this wick. Is that right? When I got filled, you got stopped out. Would that be correct to say? Okay, that's okay. Here, this would be my question is, did you not have a threshold on what level you would market smash at? That's a tough one. I mean, that's just a stereotypical, like, you got. And I've gotten got like that so many times. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you shouldn't have, that shouldn't have happened. I've had that happen to me so much. The one thing that I would tell you, NK, is you may not have been as bearish as me, which is why you said, fuck it. I have to put my stop loss right here because I really don't know if I want to be in this short or not. You were here when I said any short attempt, the invalidation is this high, correct? The other thing that I would say is you live by the fib, you die by the fib, brother. So would it be fair to say that you were not really sure about wanting to short? And so you had a really aggressive conservative stop loss. So to be honest, NK, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You weren't feeling it, Maybe you saw some edge. Hopefully, I didn't influence you. I put it there because of slippage and my leverage was kind of high. Well, then there's your answer. You were fucking yourself before you could even have a fair shot at the trade. So let's crank the leverage down a little bit, NK. You down with that? So would it be fair to say that your leverage fucked you more than anything? And maybe the only thing that you have to adjust for is cranking the leverage down. It was just 10x. Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, but if you felt like it's because it's all relative. If you felt like your reasoning and your articulation out loud is that your leverage and your slippage is the reason why you put it there, then let's crank it down just even a little bit more. Let's do 7x or something like that. But NK, you do know that Kimba box is from 786 to 618. And that's, if you were going to take the fib, that's the play. And if you didn't want to play it like this, then you need to be self-aware that you didn't play it by the book. You kind of did your own thing. And you may have done your own thing because you weren't as bearish as I was. And, I mean, did you try shorting on Monday like me twice? Did you try shorting yesterday on that box? All of those things will kind of factor into how bearish are you really. And then it's going to trickle down into how you execute it. So there's really no right or wrong. But what I would say is if you're going to go with fibs, the buy the book strategy is how I drew it. It's 618 to 786. You go one. Do you know about 1, 2, 3, 4? You divide this up into quarters. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because what's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4? It's 10, right? So let's say that I wanted to do a 50 Bitcoin short. Okay? I would do 5 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, 15 Bitcoin, and then 20 Bitcoin because you add that up and then it's 50. And then if you do that, your average should be right in front of the 7.5, which is what we're looking for anyways. Okay? And if it doesn't go all the way, at least you get some of these filled. So this is the buy the book Fibonacci play the next time you want to try to short or long based off of just fibs. Obviously, you would want VWAP and point of control and value levels to overlap. But if you're purely going off of Fibonacci NK, this is what the book says you were supposed to play it as. So you can take whatever you like, leave behind whatever you don't like, and then maybe you have a different way of shorting next time. Yeah? And maybe next time it's a different outcome. And then it's just repeating that process over and over and over. And that's basically what trading is. Akachaya! You with me? You good, NK? I learned the hard way. I don't think you really did anything wrong, brother. Like, I don't want you to think you did something wrong because you were aggressive with your stop loss and risk management. But the only way that really happens, in my opinion, is you really don't know about that short. When the bullets start flying, right? When cortisol and adrenaline is coursing through your frontal cortex, the real you always shows up. It's the truth serum. You know, if you're really not that bearish and you're really only thinking about shorting because I'm doing it, you're going to pussyfoot. You know, you're going to look for every reason why you shouldn't take it, why I'm wrong. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's, you know, I'm never going to be able to convince you of your subconscious bias. And I would just, you know, maybe try to think about, was I really bearish? Was I not? And if you weren't, it's not that big of a deal. So this, by the way, NK, these are the day-to-day scalp plays. So it's not like there's a generational short or a long every day that we're going to be getting into. So, you know, it's always good to shave, take profit, make sure you can't lose, and let's just continue to build good habits. You know, for me, I feel like my preparation was pretty good. I think my levels were pretty well identified. I think when I was looking at open interest data, for example, and trying to analyze the hidden CVD bear div, right? Which basically we had a hidden CVD bear div with a smaller time frame regular bear div when it ended up kind of making a higher high when Jerome was about to start talking, right? That also led to pixel fucking value area high. You know, we broke straight through VWAP. I mean, it was everything that I wanted. So I feel pretty good. I didn't get got. I stuck to my guns, and I'm in a situation where I can't lose. So Monday, I feel like, was a win. Tuesday was a win. Today was a win. Let's just keep this shit going, you know? How we feeling? Pick Talk says, what's the difference between $500 with 10x leverage and $100 with 50x leverage? So if you are an intermediate advanced trader, at the end of the day, the leverage doesn't really matter. Okay? Like if we're talking technicalities. Okay? You're going to lose the same amount of money. The issue is, does it impact you any differently? And the truth is, it probably does. The individual trader. If you're objectively looking at and comparing how much money you can lose, whether it's a 10x leverage or a 50x leverage, right? It's the same. But the individual, can they actually react identically the same? The answer is usually no. Pick Talk. All right? So, you know, if you're longing the golden pocket or the 7.5 and you're doing a 100x leverage, you might not make it to be able to put your stop loss behind the 886 and do the mathematically correct thing and see that price action repeat hundreds and thousands of times so you know how the fibs play out. I don't know if you can be disciplined enough to actually treat both scenarios the same and say, my invalidation is this. I'm not going to close the trade because, you know, my high leverage, you know, forces me to be stopped out here. I'm going to be able to say, based off of the mathematical confirmation I got, the mathematical invalidation is why I'm going to close the trade. I don't know if people can see all of those probabilities play out. Now, if you're somebody that can genuinely look at themselves in the mirror and say that, hey, the 10x doesn't affect me any different than the 50x, then awesome. God bless you. Awesome. But just because, objectively speaking, a 10x leverage and 50x and you can lose the same amount, I don't know if every individual can actually react and treat it the same. That's the key difference. So you do what you think is right. You know, everybody has their own journey to figure out if high leverage is Gucci or not, you know. But just be self-aware and self-honest and make sure that you know what the fuck you're doing. Don't get caught. Don't get got. If it goes to value area high, I'm assuming that you're going to close it, or like that's where your stop loss is, right? And even if it doesn't go to value area high, on the second 30-minute body close above settlement, we'll shave 25%. Anything else you want to go over? Unforgiven? So you're good if this fucking skyrockets, right? You're good if it doesn't skyrocket, but it's starting to spend value inside settlement. If it doesn't spend time inside settlement and it just completely starts nuking, we don't have to worry about that. You have your TPs, right? You do know that 82.5, that swing fail of those shitty lows, you have to TP a little bit. If you do not get the second 30-minute body close and you don't take profit 25%, let's TP 25% on if a swing fail pattern occurs at 82.5. You down? Unforgiven? You with me, or you want to do less? It's up to you. There's no right or wrong, but I'm going to do it with you. You want to do 10%? You want to do 15? Don't let me fucking dictate what you're going to do. It's your money. What do you think is the right thing to do? I'm gonna follow your lead, Unforgiven. You tell me what we're gonna do. Have you been losing? Are you playing with profits? What are we looking at, honestly? Shoot, because you haven't TP'd at all. So I think 25% sounds good, or what are we doing? You're playing with profits? 15% then. 10%? Which one? 10, 15? Tell me so I do it. I'm going to do it just like you. We're going to do it together, brother. What do you want to do? 15? Bet. Done. So we're planned out, right? If this has a green dildo, we know what the outcome is. If it's not a green dildo, but it's spending time inside of settlement, we know at what the trigger is to maybe close at least 25%. If it starts heading back down, we know where our TP1 is. And then if it actually starts to nuke and we get lucky for a home run, whatever, right? 79.5, 76, 74, 70, 68, whatever. We can talk about that next week. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss, Sato. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Stay safe. Have a great night. We've got the plans, man. We've got the plans. Trust the math. Have a great night. Peace, everybody.